Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to do a video. Actually, we're going to do two. I haven't decided if I'm going to make them one video or if I'm going to split them. But we are going to look at the JAS 39. This is something I've asked about in the comments of a couple of videos on the Swedish Air Force series, and I'm really interested in this. So I couldn't decide if I wanted to do it on or off the channel because I was gonna watch this video anyway. But I decided I'm gonna do it on the channel. This is Military TV that did this, so shout out to them. Remember, if you like the channel, want to support what we're doing over here, you can like, comment, subscribe, or join the Discord. I'll put the link in the description box down below. Let's jump into it.
You are probably familiar with famous fighter jets like the F-16 Falcon or F-22 Raptor. Globally, these multi-role combat jets are well known for their superior features and offensive capabilities. But have you ever heard of the Saab JAS-39 Gripen? Though not as famous as its U.S. counterpart,
Yes, I absolutely have heard of it. It's why I was asking about it in the comments of a couple different videos. It's maybe I'm in weird circles as far as like what we talk about. In fact, I probably am. It's probably a little bit abnormal, but certainly this is something that we've talked about.
the Swedish fighter jet should not be underestimated when it comes to systems and capacity. Well, how amazing is it really? Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Military TV. In today's episode, we will take a look at the Swedish Saab JAS-39 Gripen, a Swedish multi-role combat airplane. For more interesting information on this topic, don't go anywhere and stay tuned. Manufactured by the Swedish aerospace and defense company Saab AB, JAS-39 Gripen is a light single-engine multi-role combat aircraft in...
Is Gripen how it's pronounced? Is that how you pronounce it in Sweden? Because Gripen is how it's pronounced. At least that's how a lot of people pronounce it here.
service with the Swedish Air Force. The Gripen features a delta wing, which is a wing shaped in the form of a triangle. It also has a canard configuration with negative stability design and fly-by-wire flight system, replacing the conventional manual flight controls with an electronic interface. By 2020, more than 200 Gripens of various models A to F have been developed. First, let's dig into the history of the JAS-39 Gripen. The development of JAS-39 Gripen began when Sweden sought to build new fighters to replace its aging Saab 35 Draken and Saab 37 Viggen in the late 1970s.
Was the Draken the one that the guy said in the Swedish Air Force video that his dad was, I think it was his dad, that he said his dad had flown? And there was a little bit of a mistranslation, but people were saying that he was talking about a particular fighter jet. Is that it?
A defensive dispersed basing plan. In the case of invasion, the Swedish Air Force needed a cheap Mach 2 aircraft with good short-field performance. The concept included 800-meter long by 17-meter wide primitive runways from the Base 90 system. One goal was to make the plane smaller than the Viggen while maintaining or increasing its payload range performance. The Saab 38, also known as the B-3LA, was proposed as an attack aircraft and trainer, and the A-20, a modification of the Viggen, was proposed as a fighter, attack, and maritime reconnaissance aircraft. The General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcon, the McDonnell Douglas FA-18 Hornet, and the Northrop F-20 Tiger Shark were among the foreign designs which were studied and taken as references. In 1979, the Swedish government commenced a study for an all-around platform capable of JAS, which stands for Aerial Warfare, Close Air Support, as well as Reconnaissance, indicating multi-role capabilities to satisfy various roles during missions. A number of Saab designs were reconsidered, with Project 2105 being the most favorable, recommended to the government by the Defense Material Administration. Then, in the 1980s, the industrial...
I had never really thought about that. How does that work? Who is looking at the designs. How is it pitched to the government? What that was super interesting to me. Do they set aside funds and then the military decides, okay, we need a new multi-role aircraft, and so we're going to, allocate, whatever percentage of the funds we have for the next however many years to get it? Or is it decided at the government level, like, okay, the military needs this, so we're going to send them funds specifically to design and get a prototype and then up and running, fleet of these aircraft? How exactly does that work?
Arm of the Swedish Armed Forces consisting of several big corporations like Saab Scania, LM Ericsson, and Volvo Flygmotor established the JAS industry group as a joint venture. The Gripen was first rolled out by Saab on April 26, 1987, at the company's 50th anniversary. The first flight on December 9, 1988 was actually delayed by 18 months due to some issues with the flight control system. Problems concerning the aircraft.
That's common. A lot of new aircraft, I would say the vast majority of them have problems whenever they're first made. Whenever you have the first one, the prototype, the first couple of ones that are actually flown, it takes a while to get the kinks worked out. You can obviously see this going on with the F-35 right now.
Aircraft's avionics, particularly the fly-by-wire flight control system (FCS) and the relaxed stability design, appeared during the test program. This problem caused the prototype to crash during an attempted landing at Linköping on February 2, 1989,
Damn.
with the test pilot Lars Rydström surviving with a broken elbow.
Jesus, that was lucky. That looked bad.
Pilot-induced oscillation was determined as the cause of the crash, which was caused by issues with the FCS's pitch control routine. Following the crash, the Saab and U.S. firm Calspan introduced software-related modifications to the aircraft. A partnership agreement between Saab Military Aircraft and British Aerospace was announced during the 1995 Paris Air Show. This cooperation between the two will form the joint venture company Saab BAE Gripen AB, with the purpose of adapting, producing, marketing, and supporting Gripen at the international level. The partnership also involves the transfiguration of the A and B series aircraft to the export C and D series, which encouraged the Gripen's compatibility with the standard of NATO.
I want to say they're working with Britain, and not just Britain, I don't think. I think there's a whole couple of countries in on this, but I'm almost positive Sweden and Britain are two of the countries involved in attempting to create a next-gen fighter.
Now let's take a look at the design and features embedded in the JAS-39 Gripen. One thing that probably differentiates Gripen from the rest of the 4+ generation fighters on the market is its small size along with the low cost required to operate this aircraft. Even though it's difficult to calculate the flyaway cost, the Gripen reportedly had the government spend less than $60 million. Gripen also boasted its low operational cost, probably the lowest of any modern fighter jets. For its physical specs, the Gripen could take off at a maximum of 16,500 kilograms and is able to accelerate up to Mach 2. Notable for its supercruisability, Gripen has a range of approximately 1,500 kilometers. For either Beyond Visual Range Missile (BVR) and dogfighting combatants, Gripen is surely at the top of its class. The Gripen has a reputation for being user-friendly, with simple displays and a straightforward interface. In terms of lethality, the Gripen was the first fighter in the world to carry the lethal Meteor air-to-air missile, a beyond.
This is what, not the missile, but the last thing about the easy-to-fly interface. This is what somebody had brought to my attention, was the, not ability, but the way that Sweden made their fighter planes to be easy to fly, easy to maintain, easy to learn to work on, it was just supposed to be not easy, because this is all complicated stuff, obviously, but in regards to other other platforms, other types of fighter aircraft, it was supposed to be generally more simple, so that it would be kind of easier to grasp, even for the people that were working on the aircraft.
Visual range BVR weapon capable of tracking and killing targets up to 80 miles away.
Damn.
The Gripen C is capable of carrying 4 Meteor missiles, while the Gripen E is capable of carrying 7. Another interesting aspect of the Gripen is the addition of dedicated electronic warfare pods to the Gripen's already allegedly formidable onboard jamming capabilities. According to Saab, this is probably the most advanced EW suite carried by a fighter, making the Gripen a valuable commodity for suppression or destruction of enemy air defense dead missions. Lastly, now let's take a look at the operational history of the aircraft. A total of 204 Gripens were ordered by the Swedish Air Force in 3 batches. The first delivery was made to the Flygvapnet on June 8, 1993 during a ceremony in Linköping. The last of the first batch was sent on December 13, 1996. The first batch 2 sample was delivered to the Air Force on December 19, 1996. The Gripen has been exported to Hungary, the Czech Republic, Thailand, Brazil, and South Africa by Saab. Finland, Canada, Colombia, Botswana, Croatia, India, Indonesia, and the Philippines are among the countries that have expressed interest, with another dozen or so countries indicating some interest. Saab has been generally receptive to technology transfer and has made it easier for local companies to participate in the production process of some components. This has made the Gripen an interesting option for
That is incredibly interesting and not super common.
governments who struggle to explain where they spent the money to the skeptical public. Because of the involvement of British Aerospace Systems, the United Kingdom has an effective veto over the Gripen's export. Argentina has been unable to obtain the aircraft as a result of this.
Interesting.
On the other hand, in the instance of Switzerland, the Gripen was caught up in the ongoing court case against right-wing agitator Julian Assange, as his supporters rallied against a referendum that would have authorized the Swiss Air Force to buy 22 fighter jets.
Okay, I'm not totally sure that I would call Julian Assange a right-wing agitator. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if y'all know who that is, but that wouldn't be what I would call him. But I don't like to get political on the channel, so I'm going to steer away from that. Okay, so the next video that I'm going to do, and I'm going to just attach it onto the end of this, since this was no, I'll go ahead and upload 2 different videos. But I'm going to do a video that is it's going to be the JAS 39 Gripen in a dogfight on a simulation, basically. There's a channel that I absolutely love called Growling Sidewinder, and I'm going to go over there and I'm going to watch him either fly one and get in a dogfight, or be on the receiving end and see how it goes. So that will be out maybe at the same time, maybe a little bit after this, but stay tuned because that'll be soon. Thanks. I'll see you guys then.